Welcome back everyone, Mariah here, and in today's video I am going to be going over all of the new and important news when it comes to Celsius. So tomorrow there is going to be a live auction, and things have changed here in the past couple of days, changing the dynamic of what could potentially happen at this auction. And then at the end of today's video, I am going to be getting into the price of Bitcoin and showing you why I believe that there is more downside for Bitcoin. So basically the live auction is tomorrow, April 25th. And so we have two companies that have entered the auction. And the first one is called Fahrenheit. A little bit ironic. So they want to grow the assets to make creditors whole. These investments would be crypto mining, retail and institutional loans, variety of crypto core assets, and a venture capital portfolio. So as we know now, there's a 72.5% that we can anticipate to get back with Celsius, but Fahrenheit's plan is they want to take the assets of Celsius, grow those over time, and eventually make creditors whole, which is obviously a positive thing. So they say that they have a team of experts in place to run this operation. And then we know that NovaWolf is basically the one that was the main one going into the auction, and then now we have NovaWolf and we have Fahrenheit as well as Blockchain Recovery Investment Committee. So when it comes to comparing NovaWolf with Fahrenheit's plans, there are a lot of similarities there. So the Blockchain Recovery Investment Committee, they're affiliated with Gemini Trust. It will probably take weeks after tomorrow until we actually know how the bidding played out. The bar date to file a claim does not exist at this time, so if you're concerned about having to file a claim, you do not need to worry at this particular time. So when it comes to, there's a new document that has come out when it comes to the scheduling of the amount that you have on Celsius. I'm gonna put a link down below. And so once you open that, then you will scroll to the very last page. You're going to take the first letter of your first name. You're going to click that letter. It's gonna open up a huge document. So I tried to open it on Chrome as well as Safari, and both did not work when it came to searching, being able to find my particular name. So I scrolled, it took me a few extra moments, but I think if you use a different program to open up the file, you could easily do a search, which would save you probably 10 minutes or so. So we also need to understand that there is a difference here between the earn accounts, the custody accounts, and the amount that we will get back when it comes to those two separate. So what you need to understand is that if you accept, for example, when it comes to the custody account, accepting 72.5%, if I accept that amount, I basically lose my rights to sue Celsius for the remaining amount that I did not get back. So keep that in mind there. So a few more things I just want to go over when it comes to the whole Celsius situation. So the April 28 deadline to file a claim has been put on hold. So that is something that was coming up. So there was 2,300 people that voted on who do you prefer to win the bid. And it looks like 25% of people are for NovaWolf. We have nearly 50% for Fahrenheit and 25% for BRIC. So according to the Fahrenheit team, Celsius creditors would get more Ethereum back than the NovaWolf plan. That makes a ton of sense why 50% of the people want Fahrenheit to win this bid. And that is because, if you forgot, Celsius had a ton of incentives to use Ethereum, to deposit Ethereum onto the platform. They created a lot of incentives for Ethereum specifically. And I also think that they gave you, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure about this. I'm starting to forget some of the things around Celsius, but I think they gave people a lower rate on loans if they used Ethereum as collateral. So I'm thinking that for most people, they have a lot of Ethereum on Celsius, and so they are in favor of whichever company to win the bidding that is going to favor the Celsius. So that seems like what Fahrenheit is riding on. So if you want to listen to the auction on Tuesday, tomorrow, send an email to celsiusauction@kirkland.com. But consider this. Listening to tomorrow's auction process will require signing a confidentiality agreement with Celsius through Kirkland. Auction attendees will not be allowed to share anything they hear or learn. They will not be allowed to post messages or tweets about anything they learn, nor take notes or record audio or video. I think that we will probably have plenty of leaks that come out of this, people posting from anonymous Twitter accounts, so I anticipate that we will receive the information, but I don't know. Let's see. Fahrenheit's management fees are lower than NovaWolf's, as per their plan. This is another positive and probably a reason why people are favoring Fahrenheit bidding the highest amount. So that is what's happening over when it comes to Celsius. Now let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is having a bit of a weaker afternoon here, sitting at $27,064. This right here is a weekly chart. We're seeing quite a bit of a pullback here. I am anticipating Bitcoin to fall between 25 and 25,500. I think that will happen sometime this week in particular. I think there's about an 80 to 90% chance of that happening. Will Bitcoin bounce off of those levels? I am not sure yet, but I do anticipate Bitcoin to get there. So this is a 7-day chart, obviously seeing that pullback there. If we see the green moving average crossing over the red, that's going to be a lot of negative momentum in my opinion for Bitcoin, but we are far from that, so I am not anticipating that just yet. This is a daily chart, and as you can see here, Bitcoin is being held up by this particular DMA. So it kind of sort of feels like Bitcoin is hanging on the ledge here. So very curious to see what happens next. If it breaks below that DMA, I could see it heading to the next level, which is $25,000. I think that is pretty likely because of the way Bitcoin has behaved since this candle over here. This was April 21st, so over the past 3 days or so, just lingering in this range and not bouncing hard off of it, I do think that we will see more room to the downside. I also don't really like this 12-hour chart. It's looking really weak as well. This is the 4-hour chart, which is looking weak, about to make potentially a lower low. The low of this candle right here, 26,999, and the low of this candle is $27,047. So very curious to see if Bitcoin will make a lower low. Keep a very close eye. This current price action is really quite interesting. Is going to tell us a lot moving forward. The hourly chart does not look good on Bitcoin. It looks very bearish as we have made a lower low, but Bitcoin has made a lower low, but what's holding it up currently is that DMA. So keep a very close eye there. But we're obviously seeing bearish posture on these low level time frames, as well as this 30-minute chart, this 15-minute chart, and the 5-minute chart on Bitcoin. So we saw a decent drop here over the last few moments. Let's go ahead and see here the percentage wise that Bitcoin has dropped in the last 20 minutes. It's dropped about 1.5%. So Bitcoin now, it just hit 26,999, which I think is a double bottom back on that, was that 4-hour chart here? And I fell below it actually. So as I am speaking here on this video, we were waiting here on the 4-hour for Bitcoin to make a lower low, and it has indeed. It fell, let's see, it just fell to 26,947. Ethereum is weaker on the day at 1814. Gold is sitting at 1987. Coinbase down 8% on the day to 54.35. Filecoin at 518, DOT at 582, Link at 703, XTZ at 99 cents. So XTZ has also seen a lot of weakness here. This is a big red day. And so people frequently ask me, what is my strategy on getting back into Bitcoin? What I would do is I would take 50% of what I would like to invest, and I would be dollar cost averaging over the next 3 to 4 months. Then I would take the other 50% and add when appropriate on big red days. So this would be a day of that. But keeping a very, very close eye here when it comes to Bitcoin here. So on the daily, it has wicked below the DMA, this main DMA right here. And let's go ahead and take a look at other markets. I don't know if there's some particular news that just came out that is causing this. We will check in just a moment. Electric vehicle stocks, Tesla is down to 160, down 2.85% today. 50-50 when it comes to electric vehicle related stocks. We have about half in the green and half in the red. Let's take a look at majors here. 411.64 for SPY. Let's take a look at the 5-minute and see if there's any correlation with Bitcoin. So, no, Bitcoin has fallen 2% in the last 20 to 30 minutes. We are now seeing a little bit of a pullback here on SPY. For the past, 30 to 40 minutes, it's been in an upward trend. It went from about 410 up to 411, and we are seeing a little bit of a pullback now. This could be some correlation with Bitcoin. So that's what we are seeing here on SPY. Let's take a look at marijuana stocks. Tilray is at 232. Let's take a look at the daily chart here on Tilray. Let's see, double bottom here. The low of this candle, 228. The low of this candle, 228. Double bottom on Tilray. I do think that we will see more room to the downside as the momentum of other markets will continue to push down marijuana markets. I mean, you could just see across the board here a ton of red with marijuana stocks on the day, and I think the momentum will bring Tilray down further. So I'm gonna go back over to majors, SPY here. This is the daily chart on SPY. As you can see here, being held up by this moving average. If this green crosses below the red, I would not like to see that, but it has some wiggle room. As long as it holds the low of this candle right here, which is 405.68, SPY is in good shape. So when we compare SPY's daily to Bitcoin's daily, Bitcoin is a lot weaker. So SPY is showing much more strength compared to Bitcoin. So that is what we are seeing there. I want to know if there is some news that just came out that is driving the price down. Let's see. This was posted earlier today at 4:26 a.m. Bitcoin posts the biggest weekly loss in 5 months as dollar liquidity declines. The debt ceiling fears return. So potentially this is fear of the debt ceiling returning. So Bitcoin now sitting at $27,135. Let's take a look over here at the 5-minute chart. So a little bit of a bump here, but I do anticipate more room to the downside when it comes to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Like I've said, Ethereum typically leads the way when it comes to strength. So Ethereum's posture on the daily, basically the same as Bitcoin's. It is over here, basically flirting with the 50 DMA. And it's on a 6 count on the daily. Let's see what Bitcoin's at on the daily. It's on an 8. So very similar here, making a lower low on the daily, flirting with that DMA. Let's take a look here at the 12-hour. 12-hour also showing a lot of weakness, making a lower low. So let's go back over to Bitcoin. On the 12-hour, did it make a lower low on Bitcoin? Bitcoin also did. So yeah, both Bitcoin and Ethereum have made a lower low on the 12-hour. Basically, the structuring of the candles looks the same. 4-hour also weak. So we're seeing a lot of weakness across many time frames. And since Bitcoin has not bounced hard off of the $27,000 range, I do anticipate more room to the downside. Wow, Coinbase really has taken a big hit here, showing more weakness on the daily chart than both Bitcoin and Ethereum. So very interesting here to see where Bitcoin goes next, but I do believe that there is more room to the downside. I haven't taken a ton of time to super deep dive into Nova Wolf, Fahrenheit, and the other blockchain recovery companies' plan when it comes to Celsius. I am just waiting to see what happens. I don't know a ton about each of their plans individually. I gave you all the information today that I know about both of them, but hopefully when it comes to bidding, the company that will give us the highest percentage back is the company that wins the auction. So that's all that I have for you today. If you would like to book a 30-minute call with me, I have a link down below, and I also have a link down below if you are visiting Puerto Rico and would like to rent a car while you are on the island. That is all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.